Drive 2025 Digital Skills Training. It's a pleasure to have you all on board. My name is Habayomi Okunlola, and I'm pleased to be joining you from NASA 84 Labs. A very big thank you to our sponsors, IHS Stars, and the implementers of the program, OVL Foundation, and Kratos Sustainability Consults. I welcome you to another data science class. Okay, so I would love to take one of few hands. Can you tell us how classes has been for you? Hope it has been interesting. What have you learned so far? Okay. So a few persons, please come up. I believe this is going to be the third evening session for data science. So I'm sure many of us on this call, this is not our first time of joining the class. So I need reaction from you guys. Hello, can we all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Evening section is this is actually my first time joining the evening section.
Okay.
Just the way I spoke this morning. This morning was actually my first time joining, and it was actually interesting going through the old process, how the how to program in Python, get your
Okay.
data set, and all that. It was try an interesting part, but I think continuous practice and watching the videos will actually be a very vital pivot for us to grasp the process deeply. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. However, you haven't told us your name and where you're joining from.
Oh, sorry, my name is Harun. I'm joining from Delta State, Warri, to be precise. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Aaron, joining from Delta State. Do we have another person that would love to give a word? Hello.
Yes, I would love to, sir.
Okay, please proceed.
I would actually want to commend you, sir, because you've been an excellent teacher. I joined the data analytics class and you took your time to explain to everybody that raised a question or said they did not understand, and you went back and you were really, really patient with us. You did not just rush it and say, time has gone, I'll take your question next class and stuff like that. You were really, really patient. You're actually a seasoned teacher. Well done, sir.
All right, thank you very much. You haven't told us your name and where you're joining from. Please, let's always have that. Thank you very much for the feedback.
I'm Moramoluwa, and I joining from Abeokuta. Yeah.
Abeokuta, okay. Thank you very much, Moramoluwa, for that feedback. Okay, all right. So we have Yomi Siaka here. So tell us your name, where you're joining from, a word or two. Then we delve into the class for this evening.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Yomi, joining from Lagos.
Okay.
So this is my first class. This is going to be my first class. I joined a few days ago, I think 2 days ago. I was actually waiting for like an official communication as to how everything would be. I didn't know things have been going on the group. In fact, I just had to check the description that you posted now to see the frequently asked questions. And I can see that some of the questions are what I would have loved to, ask. And one other question that I would want to ask is like, do we have like a drive where some of our what's it called now, maybe recorded classes or resources are posted so that people who miss the class, could just go ahead and watch some of these things.
All right, thank you. Okay. I hope that will be all, Mr. Yomi.
Yes, yes. Thank you for now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So thank you for joining the program, and it's nice to have you on board. So for the resources that are being used for classes, that is always being shared in on the group chat. Okay. And for the recording, that's a work in progress. We are trying to make some work on it, and once it's available, it will be communicated to us via the group chat. Okay. So please, I would implore us to come to class, be attentive, and then so we can always revisit the resources. Okay, so for the classes that has been held, whereby we have the Python notebooks, that is shared on the group chat. But for the recording, that's still a work in progress. Okay, so a very big thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining. So let's dive straight into the deal of the day. All right. Okay, so in our previous classes, we started with introduction to Python programming, where we took a look at the variables, the data types, and all. So for today, we'll be taking a look at modules and packages. Okay, can call them modules as well as packages. And the reason why we are using Python programming language is because it's a very vast tool. Okay, so for this class, if you checked through the flyer I shared earlier, we said we'll be considering Python programming, and then would take a little step further into machine learning, okay, whereby we build our models. All right. However, how are we able to do that? We'll be able to accomplish that using modules built with Python. Okay, so what are modules? They are Python scripts that contains certain functionalities. Okay, so for instance, in our previous class, we were trying to make use of some certain modules. Okay, I guess we didn't really do that. Okay, so we worked with a function the last class. Okay, so this notebook will be shared with us and then we can review. So this is a function whereby once we've defined this function, anytime we need it again, we can always call it. So for instance, we want to say, okay, a function that outputs a welcome message to your birthday using your name. So once we run this function right now, then instead of us to start saying, oh, I want to write this function for maybe hundreds of people. I mean, I want to write the same line of code. All you just need to do is just call the function. And for instance, here, let me change this Chioma to say Monday. Okay. So you can see it says, hey, Monday, welcome to my birthday party. So instead of me writing welcome statement for each and every one. So just like a module as well, it contains certain functionalities that you can use for a particular task. So instead of you to start writing the code from start to finish, all you just need to do is just call the module and you would be able to make use of it. So for Python programming, we have some steps to use particular modules. And the very first thing is for us to install the package. After installing the package on your computer, then you can go ahead to import it into your Jupyter notebook. So for as many of us that are just joining for the first time, we are making use of the Google Colab. Okay, so this is Google Colab. For you to gain access to Google Colab, all you need to do is get a Google account. I'm sure we all have Gmail accounts, and then go on the search bar. So let me come up here. So I hope you can see the screen I'm sharing. Please just speak as I'm unable to check the reactions on the other end. Okay.
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, sir. We can see your screen, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So all I just needed to do was just search for Google Colab. Then once I click on Google Colab here, it's an online environment that allows you to create your codes. Okay. So Colab is a hosted Jupyter notebook service. It doesn't require any setup. And with Colab, you have access to free computing resources, however, to a limit. So you still need to press further. You might need to subscribe. Okay. So what you just need to do is you click on open Colab, or you click on new notebook, and then you are good to go. Okay, so let's come back to our main point of today. So when it comes to Python programming, you need to use packages, and there are a whole lot of packages that has been developed. Okay, you do not need to stress yourself or no. You want to do a particular task, what type of package would I need? So you install the package on your computer. If you are using an IDE, which is an integrated development environment, such as Anaconda or Visual Studio Code. For Anaconda, it comes pre-installed, while for VS Code, you might need to do the setup on your computer. So, but for Colab, everything is already pre-installed because we are working in a cloud environment. And then, so steps using the package, you install the package if it's not on your computer.
Excuse me,
Then
sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
This yes, this Anaconda and the other one you mentioned, are they cloud softwares too?
They are not cloud software, so you need to download them on your computer.
Okay,
For you to
just like the Jupyter notebook.
Yeah, the Jupyter notebook comes along with the Anaconda. Okay, so you have Anaconda, you would have the Jupyter environment, you would have PyCharm, a whole lot. So depending on the one you are familiar with. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. So you perform the task you need, and then the following packages will be considering them even as we proceed in this class. Would consider Numpy, which is numerical Python. We would have pandas, which is used for data manipulation. Then we have a matplot library for visualization. It's a low level. And then we have a Seaborn. That one is on a high level. Then we also have plot ly. You can call it plot ly or plotly. We also use it for visualization. And we have a scikit-learn. This scikit-learn is a package, a module built for machine learning. Okay. So going forward, we'll be exploring numerical Python today. Okay, so in case you might want to say, oh, how do we get to numerical Python? So you can go online and say Numpy. Okay, so it brings up a Numpy for you. So you can see it says, oh, Numpy offers comprehensive mathematical functions, random number generators, linear algebra, routines, Fourier transforms, and more. And one thing I want you to note is that as a data professional, you need to learn how to read documentation. It is very, very important. Okay, there are a whole lot of tools built out there. Once you can access the documentation, you'll be able to work around it. So here now you can see we have Numpy. How do you install Numpy? The documentation, the user guide, the absolute basics, okay, and then how to create Numpy arrays. So let's get back here. So for us to install package named Numpy, the first thing we do first is what? Would do what? A pip install the package name. So you do pip install the package name. So you can always find that depending on the type of package. So for Numpy now, you can see we went online and we saw that, okay, this is Numpy. So if you decide to go further to check it out, I guess let's check out the documentation so we can see how to find our way through this. So we have Numpy here, installing Numpy. Let me click on installing Numpy here. And so you can see it says installing Numpy. This page assumes you are comfortable using a terminal and you are familiar with package managers. Okay, so if you don't have Python yet and want the simplest way to get started, we recommend you use the Anaconda distribution. This is if you want to run the code locally, I mean on your local computer. You don't want to use a cloud environment, okay? So the Anaconda distribution comes with Python, Numpy, and other commonly used packages for scientific computing and data science. Okay, so moving forward, we want to install Python. How do we install it? If it's in a project-based environment, you do uv pip install numpy. If it's environment-based, you can see if you are using conda environment, and if you are using pip, so you do pip install num documentation for numpy. Okay, not that we are just trying to bring it from anywhere. We actually explore the documentation and we bring it into our environment. Okay, so having installed the package, for you to import it, you can import the package name, and for your work to be easier and faster, you need to import the package name as well as give it an alias. So an alias in the sense that, say for instance, I'm sure many of us, we have nicknames while in school, or even our initials right now. So say for instance, I'm Abayomi Okunlola by name. Okay, so my initial or my alias, as some persons might want to say, okay, we want to call this person by their initial. They might say, okay, AO, which is Abayomi Okunlola. So instead of me to be typing Abayomi Okunlola in full, I'll just be calling the words, the alias, because I've already named it earlier on. Okay, so this explains the alias. And moving forward, we have from package name, import a given functionality. This is if you want to import a particular function from the package. Okay, so first thing first, our numerical Python, how do we get to install it in our cloud environment? So you come here, you have your exclamation mark, and you say pip install numpy. So if you should run this now, it's saying requirement already satisfied. Numpy in the drive. We are currently using Python 3.11. So it's here already. Python has been installed. So moving forward, how do we import the numpy? Recall I mentioned there are steps. Install the package. We've done that. Import the package. How do we import? We'll say, okay, import numpy. Import numpy. So you can see hovering on it right now, you can see it says, oh, numpy provides an array of arbitrary homogeneous items. You can use it for linear algebra, Fourier transforms, you want to generate random numbers. So you can go ahead and check out the documentation. Okay, so it's not something that you need to cram. Just check out the documentation and you flow with it. Okay, so we've imported the package name right now. However, we want to give it an alias such that we do not need to be typing numpy in full every time when we need it. And please note this step, this stage of assigning an alias is very, very important. It's very, very important. So if you are saying import numpy as np and you need to call the numpy module, don't go and do nd dots the function. It will throw you an error. It will tell you nd is not what defined. So it's very, very important that you define your alias for your packages clearly. Okay, then moving on, the next one we said we want to import a particular functionality. So from numpy, recall we said numpy is numerical Python, right? So there is a function that is embedded in it, which is the square root function. So we can say from numpy import sqrt, which is square root. So hovering on this right now, you can see it says an array of the same shape as x containing the positive square root of each element in x. Okay, so how do you use the square root? you can go ahead and proceed with the documentation. Okay, so let's move on to Numpy. We've imported our Numpy, we've assigned it an alias here. I'm sure we are all familiar with what we call a list. Okay. Hello. Please, I think I need to be getting feedback from time to time so I can know I'm not alone here.
Yeah, we do. Or I do.
With you.
Hello, we are
Oh.
listening, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So here we have a Python list. What we have here as L is a Python list. How do you create the list? We've treated that in the previous class, so you can always catch up on that. So is a list contains several items together, and you have it written with this as your square brackets for the enclosure. Okay, so here right now we want to define a NumPy array. Okay, so I'm sure we've worked with matrix before while we were in school, right? I mean, in our early formative age. True or not true? Let's respond though.
True, sir.
Matrix.
Yes, matrix. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so here right now we have this particular array. So can someone tell me what type of array is this? Is it a one-dimensional array, a two-dimensional, a three-dimensional array? Hello.
Two-dimensional.
I think it's a
one-dimensional.
one-dimensional array.
One-dimensional.
It's a single
Dimensional.
dimensional array.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We are good to go. Okay, so now we want to have an array. Okay, so we said np.array. Okay, says np.array is a built-in function. Okay, then we have our brackets. Yeah, and then we have the list of numbers, and we say, oh, we want our data type. So in the earlier classes, we treated data type. We said, oh, we want our data type to be a float. Okay, so what does a float does? A float is your decimal place. Okay, while your integer is your whole number. Floating number, floating point is what always comes as what? Decimal. So here right now we said, oh, 1, 2, 3. These are what? They are integers, right? And then we said we want the data type to be a floating number in the 64 bits. Okay, so you can see I'm having the documentation following alongside as well. So we can always check through with that as well. So if I should say, okay, I have my list and I have my array. So what's going to be the result? So the result is this. You can see this came back as a what? As a list. While the other one came back as a what? As a floating point array. Okay. Now, if we want to move ahead and say, okay, let's take a look at the type of let's take a look at the item size of this particular array. Note that this A has been converted to an array. So on running this right now, we have the value 8. How come do we have 8 as a value? Hello? Hello?
I can hear you.
All right, so I'm requesting that how come we
Can you
are
please
having
come
8
again
as
with your question?
okay. So here right now, first we created a Python list and then we created the NumPy array, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, is there a way you can zoom in? Or am I doing?
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So you can see clearly.
Yes.
I hope it's fine this way. Please confirm.
Yes. It's better.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So here right now, I said I actually ran this code called a.item size, and it's returning the value 8. So can anyone tell us what you understand by that? Okay, so moving on. So the item size attribute in Python, okay, tells us about the size in bytes which an individual element of the array takes up. Okay, so for this right now is telling us that, let me raise my comments. Okay, so for as many that are joining in, so here now I want to write the comment for the Python code. So I believe we are just freshers to Python, let me put it that way. So I want to create a comment right now. So the item size attribute tells us the byte of each individual element in an array. So that is telling us that, okay, this particular element, each of the elements in this array takes about 8 bytes of memory. Okay, so earlier on, recall we said, oh, floating point integer here was to be what? We said we want it as float 64. Okay, we want it as a 64-bit integer. And 64-bit is equals to what? 8 bytes of memory. Okay, so let me put it here. So each element in the array takes 8 bytes of memory. Okay, so as you proceed, you'll surely see how you can optimize your script and forge ahead. But let's not worry about that for now. Okay, so now we want to say, okay, our A here has been converted to an array. How do we check what's the type of the array? So if I should run type A, it returns end numpy.nd array. That is, it's a numpy array. Okay, so I'm sure you'll be like, what?
How do we define the type?
The time or the type?
Type.
Okay, all right. So earlier on here, we said we have L as our list. Okay, and then we also have A here with the same values of our list. So we defined it as a what? np.array. That is, we want to convert it to a numpy array, and we said the data type we want it to be is a floating point number, which is this np.float64. So this has been converted to an array. That's why we have the type as nd array over here, numpy nd array. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Favor, I can see your hand up. Or was it Favor that just spoke now? Please, let's always mention our names so we can know who is about to speak. And okay, so moving on, we have our list here right now, and we decided to create an array. Okay, so here right now, let me bring up my code blocks. So for you to create your code block, you can hover in between the spaces here and you see code. So for the code right now, that gives you a space where you can write your code. And the other one, which is the text, is if you want to create formatting. So let's say, for instance, I want to work with numpy package. Okay, so if I should run this now, you can see it's being rendered as a what? As a text. So while the other environment, which is the code cell, I'm able to write my code in there and I'm able to pull through. Okay, so now we have our list, which is L. We have it here. So moving forward, we want to check or convert this into a, what is it called? We want to check first, what's the type of this element? So I'm running this, let me say type of L is what? You can see says the type of L is what? Is a list. Okay. Then we now say, oh, we do not want a list. We want to convert this list into an array. So let me say P equals to NP. Remember, NP stands for our what? The alias of our numpy dot array. Then you call the list you want to turn to an array right now, which is L. Okay, so if I should run this now, it's already run to memory. So let me say type of B. Can you see what we have now? It says our type of B is now a numpy array. Okay, so you can see how everything is lining up one after the other right now. So if I should say, okay, now print my B, it's going to return. Can you see now? We have what? An array.
The original array.
Earlier here, we were having what? A list, because there was comma separating the list. Okay. So in case if you want to check this particular list I'm working with, is it truly a list or is it an array? So depending on the operation you need to perform, you need to be able to work with that. Okay, so and in our previous classes we've discussed about list indexing. So please let's stay muted. So we discussed about list indexing, right? So I would love to access my array right now. Okay, so can someone tell me what I need to do to access my, let's say I want to access the value 9 in this array called B. What do I do? So you can see how everything is building up right now. We've done list indexing. So how do we tend to index 9 in the array? So can who will go for us?
Good evening.
Good evening.
So to access the number 9, it carries the index 5.
It carries the index 5. Okay.
So
Right,
that's
let's
what we
see.
use to access.
B5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sorry, it carries the index. Sorry, 4. Sorry.
Carry the index 4 because your count is start
4.
from
Sorry,
0.
I made mistake. Yeah, I made
Yeah,
mistake. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much, Favor. Okay. Thank you for, I think that was Aaron, right? Thank you. Okay. So here right now, list indexing starts from 0. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 5. Okay. Then here we said we wanted to access the item in the array 9. So we said 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So when we sliced our list, okay. So we said it returned the value, says np.integer64, and then it's returned what? 9. So it's telling us that okay, this 9 here is numpy array, and then it's in the format integer. Recall I mentioned integer are what? Are whole numbers, while floats are what? They have what?
Decimal
Decimal.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so in case if I should say, okay, I want to check this item 9 again, I want to call it, I can either say B, let me use the reverse indexing option now, okay? So which is minus 2, which is 16 is -1, and then this will be -2, okay? So you can either use any of these, be it B4 or -2. Okay, so if you are calling -1, that means you want to call for what? Index. Now, you would notice something here, right? Earlier on, we had our list, our array here rather, which was set to float. We said A equals to what? MP array, and then the data type is what? Float 64, right? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I'm coming at the base here now to run A and then -1. You can see it returned what? np.float 64, and then it's returned what? 16.0. All right, so that tells you, depending on the work you're doing, it is very, very important you know the type of data type you are working with. Okay, all right, so now let's swing into two-dimensional arrays, 2D arrays. Okay, so when you are constructing your arrays, okay, just like your matrix, then you would have what we call nested lists, right? List of lists. So here right now we have our y variable. You said, okay, we have a 2D array. This is one, this is another one, this is another one. So on converting this list of lists right now into an array, you can see what we have: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. Okay. However, if you say, okay, you want to have just this your single list and you want to make it an array right now, you want to convert it into an array, all you just need to do is, instead of you having a single list, which is just let me bring this up. So let me say B equals to 2, 3. This is what? This is a list. Okay, it's very, very important we understand the difference. Where's my sheet? Well, this is what? An array. Okay, so however, if we want to use numpy to convert it as well, you can just call np.array. Okay, all right, so now moving forward, now we have another list of lists here again. We have list of lists here again. You can go ahead. So maybe part of our assignment would be, okay, there's going to be assignment for us at the end of the class that we're going to work with. Okay, so I would implore you all to please go through it and work on it. So here, for the same thing we want to do here now, we have list of lists here and want to convert it into an array. Just call your array function np.array, because the module numpy has been built in such a way that once you call the function that it has, it's really, really going to be what? Helpful in doing all the things you need. So going on, if we want to take a look at the properties of our array right now, how do we get to check through it? So there are functions that has been built, which is one of them is the ndim, ndim. So I'm sure someone will be like, wow, how did we get here? How
10
can I,
megabytes.
sir?
500 megabytes spent here.
500 megabytes, yeah. Please, let's turn off our video. I'm trying to mute us all. Please, let's turn off our video, okay? Thank you. Okay, so how do we get the dimension of our array? We have our array here, and W equals to NP array. How do we get the dimension? So the dimension is used, the ndim function is used to get what? Our dimension. Okay? So you can decide to explore and say, okay, you want to create your list of lists. How do you do that? Okay, so here now, I have let me do one. This is 2. Let me create one at the top here.
This is probably service unavailable.
Let's stay muted, okay? All right, so the ending function comes up with our what? With the rank of our arrays. So not to worry, this is not something you need to put up ASAP, but as you sojourn in class, you'll be able to walk through it. Okay? Why is this one not stable? Okay, so for the item size, I'm sure we will collect this. This is the amount of memory each of the values are taken into memory. Okay, so when we're working with NumPy, especially when we get to the aspect of importing our data and seeing the number of rows, the number of columns, I'm sure you'll be much more interested in this function called shape. Okay, so if I should run w.shape now, it will return what? 3, okay, comma 2. So the 3 here symbolizes the number of rows, while the 2 here symbolizes the number of columns. So for this W array right now, it's what has a 3 row and then 2 columns. And if you want to take a look at the size of the array, 6, that is how many items are in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you can just do your shape multiplication. It gives you what? The value. Okay, so this, we don't need to go again on this. You want to convert your list to an array, and then you want to check out the item size properties. Pressing on. So there are some functions in NumPy such that, like we read earlier, you can use it for random numbers generation, depending on whatever you want to do. Just ensure that there is a function that's been developed on it, or you can as well build on NumPy to build a particular function for those of us that love mathematics to the core. Okay, so now we want to say, okay, NumPy, I want you to generate zeros for me. I want to have an array filled with zeros. I want it to be 3 rows, 2 columns. Okay, well, let me change this value to say, okay, I want it to be 4 rows and 3 columns. Generate zeros for me. So you can see 0, 0, 0. So can someone tell us, is this a float or an integer? This array we generated, is it a float or an integer?
It's a float.
It's a float. Okay, thank you
Float.
very much. Yeah, thank you. So the reason why it's a float is because what? It has this
We have
full
the dots.
dots. Thank you. Okay, so if we want to generate ones, that is only 1, 1, 1, you want to be seeing, just call the function np.ones. O-N-E-S, once, and it's going to generate what? Only one. So you can see hovering on this right now. Can you see something at the top here? You can see it says def, which means it's a function that's been built on Numpy already. It says def. Once you input the shape, you specify the data type. If it's none, it's going to what? Which is the default, is going to give you a particular type. Says if it's optional, the default is what? Float. So however, if I should specify, say, integer 8 right now, you notice that what it's going to give me as what? As integers. Okay, so we can proceed. Let me over on this documentation. Whether I want to store in a multi-dimensional data in row major, which is the C style, or the Fortran style, depending on how I want it. For array API interoperability only, so must be CPU. So must be CPU if passed. So you don't need to bother yourself about this. All you just need to do is just take a look at the example. Does he fine-tune what I want to do? So here in the example here, you can see they wrote np.ones. They said they want the array f5, and then the data type is what? Is just gonna be integer. So you can see everything returned here was what? Was integer. Okay, let's do an example here. Let's call this one np.ones, and then d type is equal to integer. So let's do this 4 by 3 array. Okay, so it says I have an invalid syntax here. Perhaps I forgot a comma. Okay, so it's very, very important as programmers. You learn how to read errors. Okay. All right, so let me rerun this again. So you can see now it came up. So the default here is float. While if you specify the data type as an integer, as a whole number, as you can call it, then you have it in this format. Okay. Hope we are not performing magic. Let me get feedback.
Yes, no.
It's getting
Okay.
there.
You understand?
All right. Thank you very much for that. Okay. So moving on. Let's take a look at a range of numbers. Range of numbers. So what is a range? A range is actually a function. Okay. So for instance, you want to generate a list of numbers starting from, when it comes to Python, the index is what? 0. It starts counting from 0. Okay. However, when it comes to a range right now, the last value you specified is not always added in your range. Okay, so let me say I want to print a range of 20 now. I said my L is range of 20, and then print my L. So did you see what it gave me now? It said L, which is my variable, is now what? Range of what? The starting point is what? Is
5.
this 0? This is 0, yeah. I'm on this.
Oh, okay.
Let me create more code blocks here. I'm on this. So it says my starting point is what? 0, and
Yeah.
my end point is 20.
20.
Okay. All right. So however, I want to make it much more broader. That, okay, what is in this range of 0 to 20? Then I proceed and apply the list function. Okay. So let me bring this out and say, okay, I want you to convert my range of 0 to 20. I want you to convert it to a list. So let me print my list now. So you can see it says I have what? 0 to what? To 19. Okay, so if you should count this now, it will give you 20, right? Okay, so now please note that the last value is not always added in a list. So yes, so now going ahead, if you should say, okay, we want to create, let me see, how many persons do we have on this call? We have, okay, about 21. Okay, so if I should say, okay, I want to create class attendance equals to, I have a range of, I should say, now, when I call the function range, can you see what popped up on my screen? Okay, so now the first one there says range, which if you have a single value, that's going to be the stopping point. However, the next one is now what? You have the range, you put in the start, you put the stop, and then you add a step. So right now, I'm not adding a step. So for the start, the default is what? 0. And in most cases, like we did earlier on, we didn't include 0 there. So that was why it started from what? Started counting from 0 down to 20. So here now, let me say I want to have my range of numbers, maybe from 5 down to 21. Okay. So can someone tell me what we are going to get if we convert this to a list?
It will start
We should get
from
6 to 20.
6 to 20.
Okay, someone said 6 to 20. Okay.
4 to 20.
4 to 20. Let's have it. 6 to 20, 4 to 20.
5 to 20.
5 to 20.
6 to
Okay.
20. 6 to 20.
6 to
5 to
20.
20.
Okay. All right.
5 to 20.
Okay. So when it comes
5
to
to
range,
21.
5 to 21. Oh, and you're almost there.
5
Okay. Who spoke now? What did you choose? What did you say?
5 to 20.
5 to 20. Olajide Abisola said 5 to 20. All right. Thank you, everyone. So when it comes to range, at the initial stage, if you do not specify the stats, okay, the default is 0. However, in cases whereby you specify the stats, it's still going to retain the stats, which is thus 5. And then the last, your stopping value is going to be -1. So for this list now, we would have 5 to 20. Let's run it and see. Let's check it out. Shall we? Hello, shall we test it? Check it out.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Boom. So do you see that now? So we have 5 down to what? 20. So let me over on the documentation so you can see again. So here you can see it says to stop. I don't know why this is. It says to stop exclusive by step. You have your range ij. It produces your what? I, which is our 5. And then the stopping value will be what? J -1. So when it gets to 21 minus 1, then it's what? It stops. So an example here, they said, if you omit 0, and then you only give the stopping value, you have what? 0, 1, 2, 3. That is 4 minus 1. Okay, so however, there's another beautiful thing about range, which is the step option that it offers. Okay, so say for instance, you want to divide your number, you want to divide it equally. Okay, you have a value in mind that you want to divide it equally. Okay, so let's take for instance, these are class attendance. If I should say, okay, I want to divide you guys into a group of say 4 right now. Okay, so all I need to do is just add a step, which is 4. Okay, so I have my start, stop, and then my step. Let's see what this will give us. Okay, so can you see what we have? It says we have a 5, 9, 13, and 17. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
All right, so how did we get here? So if you should do 5 plus 4, we give you what?
9,
9,
9 plus 4.
13,
13,
13 plus 4.
17,
17 plus 4.
21.
21. Note that
21.
our list here is stopping at what? At 21. So because our J will be what? 21 minus 1, which is 20. So because the nearest value is less than our J, so it's gonna stop at what? At 17. Okay, so now let me say, okay, for this one now, let me change this 21 now to 22. Recall 17 plus 4 will give us what? 21, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's run this again. So can you see what we have now? We have 5, 9, 13, 17, and 21. So it won't exceed the stop. So instead of, if the step is saying, oh, the next stepping point, the next step point is beyond the value of J, then what you will have as a list that will be returned to you would be less than that. Okay, so do we have any question on this?
Yes, I do have a question, sir.
Okay.
Hello, can you
Tell
hear
us.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Tell us your name, where you're joining
Yeah,
from,
my
question.
name is Simsu Moses Ati. I'm
Okay.
joining from Biu, Borno State.
All right, Mr.
Yeah,
Moses.
I'm not from Borno, but I'm working here. I was working
Okay.
here.
How is Borno today?
Cool and calm. I'm in southern Borno in Biu, so
Okay.
it's cool and calm. The weather is also very cool. I think the temperature is around 22 or 21 now.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, so I've been following the use of Numpy, the manipulation of numeric values. We have, as a data scientist, I've just been wondering. I've been wondering at what point in data science, at what point in data science are you going to do these manipulations that you're doing, or you're just using it to just show us the what NumPy can do. I don't know at what point can you, because I understand that pandas is also a library where we use in data manipulation in Python. But when you were using, when as you have been using a NumPy to do the manipulation, I'm just I'm just I'm not lost, but I'm just curious to see at what point do we need to do this, you know, as a data scientist, you know. I don't know
Okay.
whether yeah.
All right. So I get your question. Okay. So when we get to that river, we are going to cross it. Okay.
Oh, maybe
So
when it gets to that, I will understand better.
yes. Okay. So now one thing is this: it's very important that we try to understand the basics, how these packages work, what are the attributes they have. Okay. Because when it comes to you doing data science now, you would need to do a lot of data manipulation, which you can also call data wrangling. Okay. So it's these basic libraries that you would actually need. So say, for instance, you want to load your data set now. Okay. You call pd.read_csv. You add the file path. Okay. So now when you want to perform mathematical operations, say for instance, you have a particular column, you want to get the square root right now, okay? You know, pandas is majorly built for what? Data manipulation as well. But you want to perform numerical computation right now. That is where your Numpy will fit in. So as you forge ahead, you would see the application in data science. Okay. All right. I hope that's cool.
Yes, it's okay.
All right. Okay.
It's fine.
So let's forge ahead. So yeah, right now we actually had to write in like, this is like 3 lines of code, right? Okay. So however, it's possible you just write your code in 2 lines. So as a beginner, don't be pressured. Okay. Always try to break everything one after the other. Then you can proceed. So say for instance, this one that we have like 3 lines of code here, we can actually break it into 2. Okay. If I should run it, it's still going to give me the same value. And if I should say, okay, I want to have everything in just 1 line. Okay. But please note, when you are working in programming, okay, you need to assign what we call variables. So out of this and this, which one will you go for? Okay, we have option 1, 2, and 3. So which one would you go for? Let me zoom in now.
I will go for 2.
You go for 2. Okay. Why would you go for 2? Tell us, give us reasons.
Okay. For 2, anybody can easily look through and understand what I am doing.
Okay.
Then for 1, it look more bunky. Why? For 3, you have a lot of parentheses you have to close. If one is missing, you will run to error.
That's very lovely. Please, you didn't remember to tell us your name.
My name is Harun.
Okay, Harun. All right. Thank you, Harun. Who wants to contribute as well? Contributions. Why are we not talking? Hello.
Okay,
Hello,
I am
sir.
even observing another thing. Harun is observing another thing again in that second line.
Okay.
Why I say the second, if you look at the 1, 2, 3 code, that second, the print class is on its own. So the code you are printing is on 1 line. So I will still go for that, the second.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Harun. Okay, so someone wanted to speak earlier on. The floor is open. Please speak.
Mine is actually not a contribution and not per se a question. I guess somebody mentioned it earlier about those of us that were not in the previous class. Like for me, I just got the mail yesterday. So is there a way for us to access the previous class and then maybe access this class also before the next class so that we can know where we are coming from and then understand where we are currently, sir?
All right. Thank you. You didn't tell us your name, so how do we get to address you, please?
Okay, my name is Esther and I'm speaking from Ibadan.
All right. Welcome on board, Esther. So we mentioned earlier, for those of us that are just joining, there's a package in the pipeline for us and it will be communicated with us soon. Okay. However, in the meantime, let's keep a tab on the WhatsApp group chat. Okay. All right. So let's get back to class. So for option 1, it's very long and bulky, as Arun mentioned. And then for option 2, we have a variable declaration, and then we also have a print statement. Then for option 3 now, just tells us that all we are just trying to do is we are trying to print to screen. So however, please note that when you are doing your work, when you are working, you would need to be what? Calling variables on variables. Okay, so option 3 is a no. Okay, it's a no. It's a no for us. While this is acceptable, because here now you can actually print and say, okay, what I did here, did it give me what I expected? Then you comment the print statement, and then you are able to call this variable and use it in your next line of code. While this is not very well recommended, but as a beginner, I would advise you build your blocks. So by the time your hands are strong, then you can get to this stage and then proceed. Okay, so moving on, we've explained this now. So earlier on, we were trying to create our range using the range function itself. But if you want to use it alongside with the Numpy library, so how do you come across with it? So here in Numpy now, we are saying, okay, we want to implement Numpy for our range. So how do you call that? You say your x, which is your variable, equals to np.arange. That is, you want to call the range function that has been built on Numpy. Okay, so Mr. Aaron, I hope you can see the beauty of Numpy now. So you want to have your A range. So if I should run this, let me say my normal value here I want to do is, let me say 4. So you can see the starting point is what? 0, 1, 2, 3. And then the default for the A range is 64-bit integer 64. Okay, so if we intend to include our start and stop option now, let's do 6 to 15 for our A range. Can you see the starting point minus j minus 1, which is 14 over here? So instead of us to start writing list range, so you can see where Numpy has actually come into what? To streamline process for us. Then if you want to include our step right now, say, let me do this one from 2, start from 2, end at 15, give me a step of 2. You can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then 14. You recall that this will always be what? J minus 1. Okay, so now you want to create a linspace. How do you create a linspace? That is, you want to have evenly spaced numbers over a specific interval. Okay, so how do you create that? You have your starting value, you have your ending value, which is your start and stop, and then you implement your step value. So say for instance, I want to have between 1 and 5, I want to have 10 values. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, this is now the opposite of a range. Okay, so range would always be -1, but for this linspace now, you get to have the stop value as part of your what? Of your array. You see, this is an array here. Then you have 1 to 5 is being divided into 10 places. Let's say 1 to 5 is being divided into 5 places now. What do we have? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5 itself. Okay, so linspace gives you equal distribution amongst the spacing, while for a range, you get your starting value, your stopping value -1 is being returned. Okay, so mathematical functions and attributes in Numpy. How do you get to calculate the minimum value, the maximum value, sum, and even a whole lot of things with Numpy. Recall earlier here we have our our X as the what? Numpy has been applied on it. We said linspace and it returned an array. So if I should do X, which is I'm calling this array X dot min right now, it will return the minimum number. And if I should do X dot max, you can see X dot max is giving me what? The maximum number in the array X. Okay, so if I should do a sum right now, the sum is 15, which is 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 5, that gives what? 15. So we can see how Numpy is making life easier right now. Okay, then moving on here, if you want to create your linspace between your array. Okay, this one was an earlier code. Let me just bring this out. So here you are trying to create array and then you are printing the array. So if you want to perform element-wise calculations right now, okay, so here you are saying calculate the sum of the elements in the columns. So for the column, you are having the axis as what? As 0. Okay, so 3, 1, and 2 will give you what? 6. 4 plus 0 plus 6 plus 0 will give you 10. And 5 plus 2 will give you 7. 7 plus 9 gives what? 16. 16 plus 7 gives 23. So we can see that we are making progress right now. So when you get to the original data science environment, you begin to what? Apply them. So you can see if you want to do your row-wise calculation now, you call the axis as 1. Say, okay, 3 plus 4 plus 5 gives you what? 12. 1 plus 0 plus 2, 3, and so on. So you have your 17 and 7. So now I'm sure we've done matrix while we were in our early age. Okay, so how do you perform mathematical operation with your NumPy array? Okay, you can just what? Call up the function and then you proceed. You proceed with it. Okay, so here now I want to say, okay, want to perform addition here. Let me say addition, and then the next is multiplication. Okay, so I already have my array, my NumPy arrays now with a equals to np dot array. That means I've converted this to a what? A NumPy array, as well as this. So if I'm performing addition, so let me comment this. So if I'm performing multiplication right now, so this is the result of my multiplication. So we can go ahead and explore this and see how the multiplication is coming up. Then if you want to do our dot matrix multiplication as well, we call this function called a dot. Now let's we have about 3 minutes to go. This class is at 5:30. Okay, please hang on, we'll soon be done. We are in the final stage already. Okay, so earlier on I was mentioning about slicing and indexing of lists. Okay, so we have, can someone tell me what this is? Hello.
Hi.
Can someone tell me n equals to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? What is this called?
It's a list.
List. Thank you. Your name, please.
My name is Cynthia.
Cynthia. Oh, Madam Cynthia, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so what we have here is a list. Okay, so if we want to slice our list and have it indexed, so in case if you want to select the first 5 numbers, okay, so instead of you to start writing the numbers one after the other and say my list of first 5 numbers, all you just need to do is what? Call a list. I mean, you bring in your slicing and indexing. So that's why you need to know, okay, if I want to call the first 5, how do I bring it out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's run with this. Let me comment this. Let me run this list. Oh, can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This tells you that what I want you to, this first one that is empty here means I want you to start from the initial, which is the starting point, which is index 0 now, and get me the first 5 numbers. But I should say, okay, get me the first 3 numbers now. Can you see? 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now, if I should say, okay, I want the last 3 numbers, that means I want you to start from where? This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is index 4. And then to the end. So indexing is very, very important now that we learn. Last 3 numbers we start from, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So starting from number 4 down to the end, I want you to return it. So over here, if I were to say, okay, start from number 2 right now down to the end. So you can see this return what? Starting from the second item. Recall, the second item in this list, as you are seeing it, is what? Is 7. But according to Python indexing, this is 0, 1, and then this is what? 2. 8 is what? 2. That is why this is starting from what? From 8. Okay?
Hello?
Hello. Tell us your name, your question.
I don't speak, Mr. Barami.
All right, Mr. Aaron.
Yeah. You said according to Python rule. I thought it's a general programming rule or general computing rule that all numbering starts from 0. All
Okay.
counting
All right.
starts from 0.
Okay. So we need to make more research on that. Okay. We are starting with programming here, you know, based on programming and specific languages that we might have encountered. For Python, indexing is starting from 0. So you might get to some other languages, you know, all these programming languages, they would certainly give you the same output, but they all have different syntaxes and how they operate. Okay. So let's have it in mind that, okay, the numbers we are seeing here that we are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's to our face. But when it comes to indexing, we start from 0. Okay. All right. So moving on, we have another option here. It says we want to index from -3 to the end. So this -3 now, recall, if you want to start, that is negative. That is, you want to move from your right hand to your left right now. So 78 is what? -1. 26 is what? -2. And 12 is what? -3. Okay. So that's how we came about this. That is, start from -3 and give me the remaining at the end. So if I should change this to say -5 now. Okay, let's see what we have. -5 is starting from where? From 8. This is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay. Hello, Niger youths.
We are with you, sir.
You are with me. Thank you very much.
But this negative guy is playing negativity.
Oh, don't let it play negativity, oh, I beg. That's the work. That's the work it has been called to do. So let it function appropriately. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So this is just still our way of creating arrays. So we want to create a numpy array now. 6, 7, 8, 4, 2, 1, 2, 8, and -1. How do we select our arrows now? Now, how do we slice arrays? Okay. So for arrays now, we have rows first, and then we have a column. Okay. So if you want to slice your row, so here right now we have A, we have our list, and then we say column, comma, 0. Column 0 is this one that is here. Okay, we want to select the first column only. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, I can see Moses' hand is up. Moses, you can ask your question.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you that is there any way you can recommend us to get books, as in good Python books, or R and Python, but for both R and Python, where we can get good books, even if it's to buy. But I would prefer a site where we can get good free copy books.
Okay.
For Python and R, so that some of these things you just need to take your time, and as you're going through, you're doing the practice, it's better for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Can we all see my screen?
Perfect.
All right. So a very big thank you to our instructor who created this for us. Okay, Mr. HK. So the link was being shared on the group earlier, so I'm going to pin it or reshare it again. So we have the data science doc. I mean, it's a slide whereby the resources for the Python programming will be updated there, okay, from time to time. So you can always reach out to that. And then for the scope of this class, we are working with Python. So in case if you need for R, you can do extra research or reach out so we can assist with that. Okay. All right. So now let's forge ahead. Oh, Aaron hands is up. Over to you, Aaron.
What I wanted to ask is, sorry, Mr. Bayomi, is there like a manual to this you can share with us?
Okay, so
that's in personal self-developed manual. Personal manual. I have all this link already.
Okay, self-developed manual.
Yes, maybe like a manual you've prepared that you can. You know, sometimes when someone that is taking you something has a manual to guide, he has a way of making someone to be more serious with that particular manual.
Okay,
Than
so
going to that site now and start solving, because I have checked the 4 sites, so I wouldn't even know the one I will start with amongst the 4.
Okay. All right. So I would advise you that you just take it one day at a time. In this field of data science, we take it one day at a time. And please beware of information overload. Okay. So just try and start with one. Once you are satisfied with it, then you proceed to the next one, and then you see, okay, are there some other things I can add up here? Okay. Because right now you are just like, oh, I've seen these 4 websites, it's kind of bulky at the moment.
That's true. That's true.
But when you take it bit by bit, you work with one first, you are good to go on that. You check out the second one. Okay, is there any addition that I can gain or add to knowledge here? Then that way you can proceed. Okay. All right, so let's move on. So I mentioned here that we want to select the first column here. So when it comes to slicing, we have rows first, then we have column. So we said, oh, I want everything on the row here, which is this column mark I'm having here. Then my column, which is column 0. Okay. So let me run this. Now you can see I have 642. If I should change this 0 to 1, can you see what I have? I have 728, which is second column. Okay. So the power of slicing and indexing we are exploring now. Now, if you want to select only the first row, recall this is row and the other side is what? Column, which is being separated by a comma. Okay, so A 0, comma, your column gives you what? This 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so let's try saying we want to select row what? The first row and then the first column now. Let's see the value that is going to return.
0,
Can you
0.
see this is row 0, right? And this 6 here is column 0. And then we now have column what? 1. You can see what I have. It returned what? A 7. So if I want to select a 2 now, what will I do? Let's do that together.
1, 1.
1, 1. Okay. Select only the value 2. Okay. So you mentioned 1, 1. Is this true? Who chose 1, 1? Let me know,
Harun.
please. Aaron chose 1, 1. Okay. So Moses, is 1, 1 valid? Let's run it in our mind now. Is 1, 1 valid? I mean, this value is all we want to select. Okay, Esther. Seems I need to start calling names now. Okay, I can say I have 2 Esthers here. Okay, so please let me not forget to reiterate. Now I can see we have 2 Esthers on this call. If it were to be that one of them or both of them joined with Esther, when we are trying to collate the attendance, that might be part of data integrity issues we might be facing. So please, let's join with our names. I would advise your full name, okay? Your first name and your last name. That would really help us a lot when compiling attendance. Okay, let me call Cynthia. Is Cynthia on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call, but I didn't get the question. Sorry.
Okay, we want to select, we have an array 6, 7, 8, 4, 2, 1, 2, 8, 1. So we want to select, we want to slice this array and extract this value, number 2, that is being highlighted here on my screen. So how do we slice it? So someone already gave us, Aaron gave us, he says, if we want to select the value 2 as highlighted, we would have to pick row 1, column 1. Is it valid? So we are looking for a counter opinion now. Someone should tell us which is valid and which is not valid before we run it. So I'm giving us time to run it in our in our terminal.
Is row 2, column 2, if we're going to, if it's the middle number that you are talking about. I don't know.
Row 2, column 2. Okay.
Column 2.
Please tell us your name. Who spoke now?
Moses.
Moses. Okay. Moses said row 2. So how do I represent this here in my slicing? So this is Aaron. Let me see the name.
You comment it.
I want to pick the spelling. Okay. H-A-R-O-N. All right. Aaron, and then we have Moses. Okay, so Moses, how do we represent this? You said row 2, column 2, right? So
Yes.
yeah, give us what's gonna be in our list slicing. What will be our values for list slicing? Is it 2,2?
Yeah, 2,2.
Okay. Now,
If
Team
I'm
Aaron.
thinking what you say.
Team Aaron and Team Moses, are we on the call?
We are here. We are watching.
Okay. All right, you are watching. Okay, Team Aaron, say hey.
Hey. Nobody's supporting me.
Nobody's supporting you. Okay. Now only you come. Okay. Team Moses. Team Moses, oh.
Moses, no one will vote for himself.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, so I can see thumbs up from Cynthia. Which team are you supporting? We need you guys to be audible now, so we can wrap up soon.
Mr. Yusuf, just scroll down back to this before I choose my.
Okay, let me print the area at the top here again. Let me say print A. So we want to select this value 2, Team Aaron, row 1, column 1, Team Moses, row 2, column 2. Shall we? Let's have it. Okay.
I think I'm
all
Team
right.
Moses.
You are Team Moses, okay.
Oh, let me go in.
Election concluded. So
okay.
Team Aaron has it, and Team Moses didn't get to the finals. Okay, so when it comes to list slicing, recall we mentioned our indexing is 0, then the next one is 1, then we have 2. Okay, so this is row 0. The first one is row 0, and then the second one is what? Row 1, according to what? Indexing. So our row here is satisfied with 1. We want to pick this value 2. Now, when it comes to column 6 here, down is starting for what? Column 0. Then this is column 1. That's why we have this. So you can see it picked what? 2. Now, for the Moses option, we have 2,2 is 0, 1, 2. So row 2, and then column 2 is what? 0, 1, 2. Minus 1. So that was how we came about this minus 1. I hope we've been able to bring clarity, guys.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. So it's very, very important that we understand slicing and indexing. Okay. All right. So here's a problem statement from the last two columns. Select the first 2 rows. We have last columns, which is this, and this. Then select the first 2 rows. Select last 2 columns and then select the first 2 rows. Okay, so how do we do that? So recall, this would give us what? Our rows, right? Which is 0, 1, 2. That is, we want everything before our row 2. This is what this stands for. Okay. Hello, are we picking it?
Yep.
Right. We want everything before our
yes,
row 2.
sir, we're getting it, sir.
Now, for the column now, we want it to start from column 1, which is this one I highlighted, and then give us the remaining last 2 words. Give us the remaining columns. So here for this column now, this is 0, 1, where we have these 2 now. So the intersect is going to be 2 downwards. I'm sorry, I'm unable to highlight. Maybe I'll come with a marker in the next class. Hope we got that now. Hello. This is
Yeah.
all right. So we've got
Yes,
assignment.
ma'am.
Create any NumPy array of your choice of any given dimension. Using your NumPy array, perform the following operations. Select all the rows, select the first row, select the last column, only the third row, the first 3 rows and the last 3 columns, select the last 2 rows from the first 3 columns, okay? So please ensure you do this in your notebook. When we come for the next class, you will be asked to share your screen. And even before you sharing your screen, grab a screenshot and drop on the group chat once the group chat is opened, okay?
When is the next class?
All right, so the next, for data science, classes holds on Mondays and Wednesdays between the hours of 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Then we have a recap for 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. Then Friday is optional. We have office hours on Fridays. Apologies, the office hours couldn't hold last Friday due to a technical issue. So we sincerely apologize for that. Then data analytics people, we meet on Saturdays, 3 to 5 p.m. Okay, so thank you for joining the data science class this evening. Do we have questions?
Mr. Bayomi, good evening. Harun speaking. I've not been able to set up my notes. So, meaning I've not installed anything on it.
Oh, I don't get now. Can you share your screen so we can see together? Let me stop sharing.
All right, thank you so much. Let me quickly switch to my system.
If we have our questions, we can always reach out, drop a chat, drop a comment.
Yes, boss. Good evening.
Good evening. Tell us your name, where you're joining from.
No, someone just walked into the studio. That's part of this.
Hello, Arun. I can't see your screen. Oh. Hello. Hello, Arun. Is Arun still on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call. I'm trying to share my screen. Boss,
Okay.
I do one small thing. Windows.
Does anyone have questions?
Okay, my screen.
Yes.
This is how I have my screen.
All right. So you have it set up already?
No.
So what are you unable to do? Let me know.
I just opened it. I know I told you this is my first time knowing this. So I just go through the collab. I opened it up. So I've not done anything. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to move from.
Okay. All right. So when you launch your collab, this is the first interface you're going to have.
Yes.
So you can see your cursor blinking. It says, do you want to start coding? So that's a code cell. So for instance, now, so where your cursor is blinking.
Okay.
All right. So now type import space numpy space as np. You can see you have suggestions already, space np, or just press your tab or press enter. No, there should be a space. So
okay.
All right. So run it. So click on that play button. That means you've run it to memory. Okay.
Okay.
So now just click on the plus code at the top. Okay, or over on it. So you can either ways. If you want the code cell to be at the top, you click on that code. If you want it to be at the bottom, you bring it down.
So now if I have it like this, and let me have a pure documentation. Now I know this is the first thing I did to install the Numpy, and it's going to read as NP. Abi?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of typing Numpy, I will be typing NP.
Yeah, because you've imported it and given
it as
alias
NP.
As NP. So you don't need to be writing Numpy in full. You just be calling NP dot.
My name is Harun Belly. You said you're calling me Harun Belly. You call me HB.
Okay. HB.
Okay.
You can
okay.
All
so
right.
now I can add to continue, Abi?
Yes, if you want to write your code, then you can continue doing that. Then
so
if you want to run
it, I don't need to import any other thing now. I can just continue my code writing like this, Abi?
You can continue. Okay, do x equals to type x space equal to np dot a range. Let's create a range of numbers, a range. So you can see you're already having it. No, not a range. ARANGE.
So range.
No. You have two R here.
I have
now.
double R. Sorry.
Yes. So a range. Then you open your bracket. Say 5 to 40. No, this is curly braces now. You are not
normal bracket.
Yeah, the round brackets.
Okay.
Say 5, 40.
5, 40.
Say 5. Yeah, let's do 5. Then print. Go to the next line.
I should enter.
No, go to the end of the line, then press enter. End of the line. Press enter and then do print, open brackets, and type X.
Print X. Okay.
All right. So now press shift and enter on your keyboard.
As in shift like this?
No. Close, delete that space. Shift, then enter. Shift, enter.
Okay.
No, you didn't do that though. Shift key and then enter key. Shift.
Okay,
enter.
I should press both together.
Yes, shift and enter.
Okay.
So instead of you pressing the play button from time to time,
okay,
shift and enter will work, or you can do control enter.
Okay.
So, but as you go ahead, you grow in it, then you learn more. Okay. All right. So you can stop sharing. Do we have any questions? It's about time. Let's call it an evening. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do we have questions?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's mention our name and our questions then. Hello. We thrive on your feedbacks. Guys, please share feedback.
Hello, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Hello.
What did you say?
Yes, feedback, question.
Can I ask question on what we just did now? Yeah, we have NPR. What's it called? Hello? A range.
Hello.
Abi?
Yes. Yeah.
We have 5 to 40 and 5.
Okay.
So I know range will start from the particular number you call.
Okay.
Then it will end before the last number, number you call.
Okay.
Okay. Now I understand. Before I finish asking the question, I understand what the question. I answered it myself. So I was saying 545. Now I understand that it was a range of 5 by 5, which is 5, 10, 15, a range of difference of 5.
Okay, can you share your screen? So we can see what you're talking about, because it's very, very important we see what you are seeing so we can as well flow with your thoughts.
This is what I'm saying. We did 545.
Okay.
And it's a range, and for every range it will start from the actual number you call.
Okay, so 5 is the starting point here.
Yes, it will be the 5, which is starting point. Now,
all right,
then
40 is what?
40 will be the ending point, being the fact that it will have a step back. Instead of 40, it will have minus. If it's 1, it will be -1. If it's, since it's 5, you have -5, which is 35.
No, sir. The stopping point is always -1, irrespective of the step you had.
I understand. Maybe I use the wrong language. The stopping point is -1. Now,
yes,
here, then, why we have 5 here, we said we should have a difference of 5 for what we are running. So the difference of 5, which represents 1 -1 here now, is a difference of 5.
Yes. You know, this range is actually going to stop at what? It will stop at 39.
Yes.
Okay.
It will stop at 39. If I remove this 5, I run it, it will stop at 39.
Yeah.
So if since I'm adding 5 to it, it will remove 1, 2, 3, 4, which is, if we have 40 here now, it will start from the 40. It will remove that 5. Since it's a 5-step, what will I don't know the right language to use, which is differential of 5 though.
Okay.
So I would now understand.
Okay, now you understand.
Answer.
Okay. So can anyone on the call explain what we have on the screen for us as part of what we just learned this evening? Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, the reason why it's ending at 35.
Please
okay,
tell
5.
us your name and where you joining from.
Okay, my name is Esther from Ibadan. It's like we are 2 Esthers from Ibadan.
Oh, that's lovely. How is Ibadan today? 2 Esthers.
Fine, sir. So this is 5,40,5, which means that it's going to start reading from 5 to 39. Now we want it in 5 divisions. So that's why we are having it in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. The next number ought to be 40. But because this is 40 already, and what we have left is 39, because once 1 is removed, it's left with 39. So it's not up to 5. The number left is 4. So that's why it's ending at 35. But assuming this 5,40 is actually 5,41,5, then we are going to have our 40.
Okay,
as
let's
the
test
last
that.
value.
All right, thank you. Let's test that. 5,41,5. Let's have it. So it's one thing for you to say, it's another thing for you to prove. So show evidence, show workings. Ooh.
Yes, that's why we are having 40 now, because we have 5 numbers left. Yes, after subtracting them.
Okay, thank you very much, Ipita Esther. Okay, so please let's always add our surnames now that we know that we are 2. Okay, so I believe we are good to go. Okay, so a very big thank you to each and every one of us for joining. A thank you to our sponsors, IHS Towers, as well as the implementers of this program for the great opportunity, OVL Foundation and Kratos Sustainability Consult Limited. My name is Abayomi Okolola, joining from NASA 84 Labs. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next class.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abayomi. Thank